what comes after the fact. That situation, what you're witnessing, is cooperation. And there's nothing else to call it.
But a lot of people don't even know the ins and outs of like the court, the law, feds,
because they believe cooperation or ratting or snitching, whatever they want to label it, has to be you sitting on a stand or you wore a wire or you pointed somebody out. They don't understand the trickery that these people play. They want a conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want a conviction, even if the conviction don't equate to jail time.
Yeah.
A conviction is a victory for them. And it goes on there. It goes, that's another feather in their cap. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they want convictions. Most times they want the time, but depending on how the case is shaped and goes, they'll take community service and suspended sentences. And because a suspended sentence means you got 5 years, we suspend 4, you got 1 time served. Them 4 years that's suspended, it's just like being on parole.
Right.
If you do something wrong, they want that 4 out you.
Yes.
But you'll do that if you want to get out of jail. But again, we're going to give you this. But this is what I need from you, sir.
Yeah.
I need you to, I don't need you to testify before you got 1 time served. Them 4 years that's suspended, it's just like being on parole.
Right.
If you do something wrong, they want that 4 out you.
Yes.
But you'll do that if you want to get out of jail. But again, we're going to give you this. But this is what I need from you, sir.
Yeah.
I need you to, I don't need you to testify that he did this and he did that. I simply need you to say that you renounced the gang. I need you to say that it is in fact
Empress, your badge number. Give us your badge number. Give us your badge number.
Now. Fuck you. Do your job right.
Okay, badge numbers. Badge numbers. What the fuck? Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
No.
Give us your badge number.
I'm security. Just listen. Come on. You okay? Baby, calm down, please. I'm security. I can't do too much. I need y'all to stay calm. Please stay calm. Or it's not. They would do the same thing. Y'all don't like that. Okay? Calm down.
I want badge numbers, bro.
Calm down.
Give us a cigar.
I don't know. I'm security.
You got that phone?
No, I got her phone.
Fuck Empress, your badge number. Give us your badge number. Give us your badge number.
Now. Fuck you. Do your job right.
Okay, badge numbers. Badge numbers. What the fuck? Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Give us your badge number.
I'm security. Just listen. Come on. You okay? Baby, calm down, please. I'm security. I can't do too much. I need y'all to stay calm. Please stay calm. Or it's not. They would do the same thing. Y'all don't like that. Okay? Calm down.
I want badge numbers, bro.
Calm down.
Give us a cigar.
I don't know. I'm security.
I was 7. It's right here. It's right here on the back of this book. Read the top of this, Lily. The top paragraph.
Okay, says top paragraph. You are going to learn everything the hard way because you don't listen. Is what I remember my mother telling me when I was 7 years old. And to this day, no words have proven to be more than accurate than those.
7.
Wow.
My mother told me you're gonna learn everything the hard way because you don't listen.
Wow.
You know when I realized she was right? I was 29.
Damn.
And I was sitting in East Jersey State Prison System at Rawway in the hole. That's clicked. That's when it clicked that you better start listening. My man Tommy used to tell me,
stop trusting each other.
"Man, stop carrying guns everywhere you go."
Flash shit in.
Yeah.
I used to work at the Comfort Inn in Philly, Delaware Avenue. I was a front desk clerk.
Everybody broke.
And I was in the street at the same time.
And once we get that going,
right behind the front desk, we had safe deposit boxes. I used to go to work. I was retarded. I used to go to work with a bulletproof vest on.
What? At the Comfort Inn?
Listen, I was retarded. I don't went to work with a vest on and used to keep a 380 in the safety deposit box behind the front desk.
Y'all know the Comfort Inn. The Comfort Inn?
She's saying, why? Why? Exactly. Why?
Yes.
What is
why?
wrong with
in spite of where you from, in spite of what job you held, in spite of anything. Yeah. Just be black first. Everything else second is what he's saying. We got to stop this shit. Why? Because if the black people unify and withhold their money from us, this country will collapse. Yeah. We'll be alive, but we ain't gonna be rich. White people are rich because of you. Right. Yes, sir. Right. They're not rich because of each other. You don't see white boys riding around talking about, yeah, man, I got this Rolex, dog. You know, I just got these brands, and I got this. Man, white people made all this shit and you bought it. You gave them our money. $1.3 trillion. Y'all keep giving this shit away. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Y'all know why all of this is happening to me? For real? You know about the blessing, right? Y'all don't realize what all this is happening to me. Wow. What's the one thing that we have been asking for the last 156 years? Reparations. The longer they drag this shit out, which they're doing, the bigger the lawsuit is going to be against the state of Kentucky and the United States government. It's going to get so big. Don't you see they're paying us our reparations? Yeah. I'm going to become y'all reparations. $444 million each. Each. That's $888 million. If you know anything about lawsuits, I may not get all of it, but you always get 2/3 of it. Yeah. And what they're doing to me right now for deprivation of my First Amendment rights, deprivation of my Second Amendment rights, deprivation of my Fourth Amendment rights, violation of my 14th Amendment rights, false imprisonment, false seizure of property. Yeah. How big you think the lawsuit gonna be? These are our reparations. I am your reparations. If I stay alive, I'll become your reparations. But if they kill me, y'all don't trip. No, seriously, don't trip what I'm about to say. Remember the movie Malcolm X? The part of the movie always used to fuck me up as a kid was, if you know they gonna kill you, why you go? Everybody counseling on you. You know everybody kind of feeling some kind of way about you. Why make yourself an easy target? Maybe because he thought what I thought. We're a backward society. We will die for someone who's already dead. But we won't die for somebody that's still here.
I know I will. Come you can.
So if they had ran up in my house on December the 3rd, which was the anniversary of Fred Hampton, because they showed up at the same time at 5 a.m. and they brought 60 heavily armed, militia-style task force members, because maybe they thought I was just going to walk outside, in my naked with a motherfucking, a C4 vessel talking about blue. That nigga went out. You won't play. He was not fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm crazy. They'll do some shit like this. Come downstairs with a fake ass vest on with no clothes on. Like what? Not what I'm saying. I'm saying shit. This shit ain't real. But if they kill me, I know what it'll do to y'all. Sometimes you need that to push you over the edge, to do what you need to do. A revolution is not something you have on Monday through Friday and then go home on the weekends. A revolution destroys everything it touches. That's why it's called a revolution. You tear down the system. You tear down the buildings. You tear down the people. You tear down everything and you rebuild your own. And we're not ready for that. Because a lot of y'all still comfortable. You're still looking for a stimulus check. You're still looking for a handout from the white man. If they kill me, y'all just remember this. You're going to be mad. You're going to be madder than a motherfucker. Because you're mad right now. But I don't want you to be mad. I want you to do something. And do it together. If they had killed me in December, I don't think the United States would still be standing right now. Not because of you all in the United States, but because of my friends overseas. Y'all don't think they won't come invade this motherfucker. They're waiting. Trust me. If I hadn't made it out of this, y'all be sitting around talking about, fuck you speak Swahili. Well, I don't know. Go in there and ask him. You got me? All right. So I'm still with you right now for a little while longer. I told you I ain't gonna be with y'all all the time. When I said that, y'all thought I was bullshit. Now they've taken me from you for 6 months. And look what happened in 6 months. Look at us today. Don't look at me, look at us. Look at us, look at white people were so afraid that we had arrived last year. Now, today, they have no problem passing laws that fuck with your vote, fuck with your freedom. Did y'all hear yesterday that the U.S. government now has authority to investigate savings and checking accounts, even prepaid now? What? Oh yeah, they're coming for you because they're discussing a digital dollar. Yes, sir. Who got their vaccine in here? Hell no. You got the vaccine, nigga? They had to call and tell me, yes. How do you know? Because I felt it in the shit they gave me when the nigga called. I had to pick up the phone. Yes, I got it. What's up? My phone got the vaccine. Okay. So this is what I'm telling you. They put the vaccine in you. They can track you. Put the vaccine in you. How many of y'all saw the headline last week? Microsoft announced they now have developed a DNA-sized computer. DNA size. Can anybody pull their DNA out for me so I can see it real quick? Exactly. You can't. And what is DNA? The code that makes you whatever you are. So you mean to tell me you're going to put something in me that can merge with my DNA? Or what instructions did you give it? Kill niggas. Kill switch. Or you don't need the phone for GPS no more. We can see you. We know where you at. Oh, when they get into the women, they be fucked up with. Hello, where you at? I'm in the basketball. No, nigga, no, you not. I'm looking at your body scan and it says here. You know what I mean? So they came up with these computers and they say it's in the vaccine. So they can track you now. You let them put that shit in you. Let them put stuff in you don't even know what it is. Mark of the beast. No one will be able to do what? Trade, travel, buy, sell, or conduct business. That's what they said, right? What are they doing right now? If you ain't got the vaccination, you can't travel to certain places now. They telling you you can take your mask off now. No. They said, oh, take your mask off. It's going to be good. Did they say that? Okay, let me ask a question. So if you take your mask off because you're supposed to be vaccinated, right? How are they going to know who's vaccinated and who's not? Right? They're going to play that for a while. Then they're going to say this, and y'all, this has already happened in history. They're going to come back and say, well, you know what? Since there are so many people that are being iffy, remember the FBI said last week they can now lock you up for lying about being vaccinated. Did y'all know that? No. See, they passing all these laws. See, I'm stuck in the house. I see all this shit. You know, I ain't going to I'm on house arrest. Something they're like, that's interesting. So they passed the law. The FBI can now come to you and ask you, look, did you tell the motherfucker you were vaccinated and you weren't? We'll get to that in a minute. Y'all heard what he said? Who heard that? Who heard his hands back? See, I can see you now, and they'll be all fucked up. I'll be outside the car and got so you know why folks go, why ran your license plate and say that you haven't had your vaccination. You get that on my license plate. Well, sir, let me explain something. First of all, I don't identify as being not vaccinated. I identify with being vaccinated. Matter of fact, I'm transgender. And I feel like you discriminated. You know what Mr. Johnson going with that bullshit. Go ahead with that. But it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna make a decision to make it easier on us. You're gonna be required to carry a car. Who's you? I got a check. Hold on a second. No, they got a check. Don't want to pay the bail. They had to lock the doors. Motherfuckers walking in like they was gonna do. They was gonna come in there and get me. And then who called? Who was on the phone? 800 calls an hour. The girl got mad. She's like, motherfucker, no. She just started answering the phone saying shit like this. Yes, the nigga is here. We got him. We get him out in an hour. Don't call back. Hold on a second. If you turn all the phones on. Yes, we got him. We let them go soon. They had meetings about us. They even, that Doug tell me if I'm lying, and then they sent, you ain't never heard no shit like this. They sent a sergeant to see me. And this is what he said. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to get you out of here. But because the phones won't stop ringing. Niggas is outside double parking. We're going to get you out of here in 45 minutes. And I am going to escort you. And he was on the phone with whoever the warden or whoever he is. He's like, no, I'm with him. No, he's going to be out of here. Okay, tell his people to pull the car to this door. That's what they did. And when the people found out which door it was, the people ran to that door. So they say, what they do? They played the okie doke on him, didn't they? They was like, yeah, he coming out door 3, young niggas, those two step out here. Jay was like, car right here, let's go. That's how fast they got me. And then they told people, he's gone. He's gone. Thanks, love. He's gone. Now, why did they treat me like that? You know why? Because we represented black power.
Right.
We ain't got nothing, y'all, for real. We don't. And the last thing we had was hope.
Right.
And then we finally got that, and you want to take that from us? Once you take a person's hope, they'll kill you. Once you take the hope of a race,
They don't have nothing else left.
we ain't got nothing to lose. And they can tell y'all ain't got nothing to lose. So they don't want that smoke from you. So what they've done is this. We're going to go get them, but we ain't going to keep them. That's too extreme. But what we will do is we'll take his rights. We still going to let him be free, but we're going to take his teeth.
Right.
Because we bet that black people haven't changed. If we cut the head off, the body will try to keep walking. But it ain't got no head no more. It has no balance. This gives you balance. Your head gives you balance, equilibrium. So we cut the head off. Unless this is a Medusa or a Gorgon, it can regenerate a new head right away. Once we cut their head off, they're going to do just like they did last time. They're going to try to keep going. And then they're going to start fighting amongst themselves. And after they finish fighting over themselves, they're going to stop trusting each other.
Right.
And then after they stop trusting each other, we can start lying to them. We can slash shit in.
Yeah.
We can start instigating.
They do.
We can pay some people to start some shit.
Teach, Doc. Teach.
Everybody broke.
Teach.
And once we get that going, we're not going to attack him. We're going to let his people attack him.
Right.
And then once his people attack him, then we're going to start to go back and bring up shit. Because he's too busy fighting his own people now. And they too busy fighting amongst themselves. We don't care what they do after that. Whether they turn into 500 gun clubs, 500 militias, 500 religions. We don't care what they do. Because 500 is what we want. We don't want one. And he was creating one in spite of your religion, in spite of your sexual preference, in spite of where you're from, in spite of what job you held, in spite of anything. Just be black first. Everything else second is what he's saying. We got to stop this shit. Why? Because if the black people unify and withhold their money from us, this country will collapse. We'll be alive, but we ain't gonna be rich. White people are rich because of you.
Right. Yes, sir.
They're not rich because of each other. You don't see white boys riding around talking about, yeah, man, I just got this Rolex, dog, and you know, I just got these brand new, I got this. Man, white people made all that shit and you bought it. You gave them our money. $1.3 trillion. You don't keep giving this shit away. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Y'all know why all of this is happening to me? For real?
Teach, Doc.
You're about to bless them, right? Y'all don't realize why all this is happening to me. Wow. What's the one thing that we have been asking for the last 156 years? Reparations. The longer they drag this shit out, which they're doing, the bigger the lawsuit is going to be against the state of Kentucky and the United States government. It's going to get so big. Don't you see they're paying us our reparations? I'm going to become y'all reparations. $444 million each. Each. That's $888 million. If you know anything about lawsuits, I may not get all of it, but you always get 2/3 of it.
Yes.
And what they're doing to me right now for deprivation of my First Amendment rights, deprivation of my Second Amendment rights, deprivation of my Fourth Amendment rights, violation of my 14th Amendment rights, false imprisonment, false seizure of property.
Yes.
How big you think the lawsuit gonna be? These are our reparations. I am your reparations. If I stay alive, I'll become your reparations. But if they kill me, y'all don't trip. No, seriously, don't trip what I'm about to say. Remember the movie Malcolm X? The part of the movie always used to fuck me up as a kid was, if you know they gonna kill you, why you go? Everybody counseling on you. You know everybody kind of feeling some kind of way about you. Why make yourself an easy target? Maybe because he thought what I thought. We were a backward society. We will die for someone who's already dead. But we won't die for somebody that's still here.
I know I will. Come you can.
So if they had ran up in my house on December the 3rd, which was the anniversary of Fred Hampton, because they showed up at the same time at 5 a.m. and they brought 60 heavily armed, militia-style task force members. Because maybe they thought I was just gonna walk outside, in my naked. With a motherfucking, a C4 vessel talking about, blue, man. That nigga went out, you won't play, you was not fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm crazy to do some shit like that. Just come downstairs with a fake ass vest on with no clothes on. Like what? I'm saying. Shit ain't real. But if they kill me, I know what it'll do to y'all. Sometimes you need that to push you over the edge, to do what you need to do. A revolution is not something you have on Monday through Friday and then go home on weekends. A revolution destroys everything it touches. That's why it's called a revolution. You tear down the systems, you tear down the buildings, you tear down the people, you tear down everything and you rebuild your own. And we're not ready for that, because a lot of y'all are still comfortable. You're still looking for a stimulus check. You're still looking for a handout from the white man. If they kill me, y'all just remember this. You're going to be mad. You're going to be madder than a motherfucker. Because you're mad right now. But I don't want you to be mad. I want you to do something. And do it together. If they had killed me in December, I don't think the United States would still be standing right now. Not because of you all in the United States, but because of my friends overseas. Y'all don't think they won't come invade this motherfucker. They're waiting. Trust me. If I had made it out of this, y'all be sitting around talking about, how the fuck do you speak Swahili? Well, I don't know. Go in there and ask him. You got me? All right. So I'm still with you right now for a little while longer. I told you I ain't gonna be with y'all all the time. When I said that, y'all thought I was bullshit. Now they've taken me from you for 6 months. And look what happened in 6 months. Look at us today. Don't look at me, look at us. Look at us, look at white people were so afraid that we had arrived last year. Now, today, they have no problem passing laws that fuck with your vote, fuck with your freedom. Did y'all hear yesterday that the U.S. government now has authority to investigate savings and checking accounts, even prepaid now? What? Oh yeah, they're coming for you because they're discussing a digital dollar. Yes, sir. Who got their vaccine in here? Hell no. You got the vaccine, nigga? They had to call inside of the book of Ether. You're like, what? Go back and learn that. That's what I had to do. But I've been following you, bro. And that's why I'm gonna give you this interview. I invited you out here with the family. This is a private event. This is not something for the public. That's why we just. Go to commercial. You said batteries?
Batteries. That's what it's saying.
What the girl said the other day, she said she was hurted. Can't believe you hurted me. You want to say something to me? You got him so you can hear him? Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and knock this out.
First and foremost, I'm a crooked thinker, so I don't care who you are, what you know, what you don't know. You come on the scene like Jay come on the scene and shocked the black community with their conscience. I'm gonna look at the person. I'm just gonna study not as far as his background, just looking at him, right? And I had my critiques, you know, and I stand behind my critique, but just a critique. It was two critiques. One was dealing with religion, and one was dealing with order war. I studied Sun Tzu order war, studied Rob Green three strategies of war. And I just don't believe that anyone who's dealing with the opposing party shouldn't have to say anything but do. Guerrilla warfare, if you know anything about what happened with Britain and the United States, it did something different when this white guy got treated and shot the general. It brought havoc to the way the military was did. Britain would just walk and step and shoot. And my thing is, when he said factual feelings, that's what it is. I don't care what a person say about you or how they feel. And then you don't have to respond. Right. Like me, growing up, I never argued. Of a person, I know you argue, people slick side get so aggressive to say the wrong thing. And for me, I'll let a person talk, but they don't know when I'm a strike. And most of the time, I struck because I was young, I was small, I had a complex. But I said to say this here, this brother have done a lot, have proven itself. You don't nobody no explanation. I don't care if it was Uncle Tom, cool, or racist or what have you. And I was more concerned about him. So when I seen what happened to him and they had to arrest him, I gave my comment. People criticized me for that, especially impact member for me going public. Like I told everybody, I don't know Jay personally. I didn't have Ella on my phone. Call Jay and tell Jay I won't talk to him. But I wanted the brother to know personally. It was never a shot at him personally. It was just, I know I'm about to get fully into this. I'm going to dedicate my life to it because if anybody look at all my videos, it started, my first video was talking about him. Yeah. I wouldn't laugh at myself scared to see it.
Yeah, right.
And I was scared as hell. I have no gun. You know? Scared as hell. I already know. But it was serious, you know.
Yeah.
And from there, I threw myself in the movement. When I spoke about my God, harsh critique this thing, and I had to go. I came back raw.
Let me interject right there. You know what's crazy about that is that you're one of the only YouTubers that I've seen that actually came to a formation, came out themselves, put themselves at risk, and witnessed everything that happened as a journalist. A lot of the other people out here talking, like the guy said the other night, he said, how you gonna sit there and criticize somebody if you've been sitting on the same couch for 20 years? Anybody who's in FAC from the beginning days, remember what I said. When we did the first formation, if you remember when I came back up on the air, what's the first thing I said? If you wasn't there, shut, thank you. That was the first thing I said. There was so many people like, well, I was gonna be there, but right. I know everybody caught that disease. But if you was there, when I came back on the air after slapping Stone Mountain, when I came back, I said, if you was one of those people who was there,
I'm not quite sure what's going on with the reception, the signal, why it keeps stopping like that. I'm not used to that happening, but yeah, I feel like my broadcast is most definitely being interrupted. All right, I'll just keep trying to play it through. But check me out tomorrow at A Mentally Elevated Morning Experience, because I'm not doing an energy forecast reading today. I wanted to just show this video for anyone who has not seen it. He covered some very important topics. So if it does not stop buffering, I encourage you to check out Experience Black International at marissablack.com. And under the OG Lounge, you'll find our network. So if you go there under our Black
you can
Party,
say whatever you want. Good, bad, up, down. Can't nobody take that from you, because there's a part of
under our Black Party is where you'll be able to find this video along with a great collection of Grandmaster Jay's work and work from his supporters and content creators that support the mission and the movement as well. All right.
Stone Mountain that a lot of people don't know about. And I don't think anybody got it on film. I seen pieces of film right after. Anybody here with the Stone Mountain, make some noise?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Stone Mountain. Y'all remember when I took y'all into the park and we came, now this is what people don't understand. Police wasn't helping us.
No.
The police didn't even know we were coming.
No.
We didn't have no permit.
No.
They didn't know what was going on. So when we started walking into the park, they didn't know where we were going. They followed us at first.
Yes.
2 police cars. Who was there?
Yes,
They just followed us because they were like, who are they? We didn't say nothing. We got some shit to handle. And I'm gonna say this to y'all, stop listening to liars. Anybody remembers when it happened because it was on the news. The Justice Department said that there was an alert. They didn't have a credible source, but that it was put out, a threat had been made that white supremacists would start killing black people on July the 4th at 8 p.m. I didn't make this shit up. I heard it too. I'm on 8 p.m. Why 8 p.m.? I can't kill niggas black in the morning, so we can get it over with. This was 8 p.m. shit. I really did. Because before that, remember, it was other threats. There was a threat against Birmingham. They was gonna bomb Birmingham. And people from Birmingham was calling me, ooh, we scared. And I came on my show and I said I did my research. Alabama has more guns than any other state. So what the fuck y'all calling us for? What you scared of? Yeah. That's when y'all heard me say this. We don't threaten. If someone threatens us, threaten them back. Right. I said we don't scare because we don't care. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Because they was making so many threats. So when we went up Stone Mountain, it was because we were sick and tired of these goddamn threats. So when we went up there, this is what y'all didn't see, and this is why I salute the people who showed up. It's because a lot of y'all, and I think a few people saw this when we got up to the entrance to the park. The police had the cars. They would block it so we couldn't get in. They had the little lights on and shit. And anybody who's there, remember, this is what I did. We stopped. And anybody who's there, remember what I said. I said, I want everybody look behind you. And y'all did. And what was back there? The police. I said, look in front of us. What do you see? The police. They got us blocked in. Remember that? And I said, what y'all want to do? We either gonna go through these motherfuckers or we gonna go through these motherfuckers. And everybody was like, he really gonna do it. You should have seen, look, I was like, if you wasn't here for some real action, I was gonna take you to the action for real. And when that motherfucker heard me when the police heard me say that, who was out there? The old white police officer walked up to me and did just like this. Watch this. Where y'all trying to go, bro?
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
And I just looked him up and down. I said, we going to the mountain. Oh, we'll clear the way for you. They didn't clear the way for us.
They got them other people.
They kept us there long enough to get the people out.
Yeah.
They evacuated the park. The whole thing. All of Stone Mountain, not just where we was. And anybody who showed up at Stone Mountain that morning, they had the gates blocked with police cars, and they was trying to tell them, you can't go in the park. And what do you mean we can't go in the park? Man, I can't let you in the park. Why? Who's in there? Let me tell you this. You don't need to know who in there. Just know that whoever's in there, you can't go in there right now. And they called every police department around Atlanta to send help. And they did, and we still outnumbered them. So they called the governor. And the governor said, well, who are they? I don't know, but it's more than it is of us. And they heavily armed. And they got this crazy motherfucker talking about swell tribal niggas. I don't know what's going on. That's what happened. There was a moment when we knew, and I knew, if I turn around and I say, let's go, they can open fire on us. And if they do that, all these motherfuckers are going to open fire on them. And once that shit happens, if we didn't make history that day, then there is no history.
Ain't no history.
So all these people talk shit about, they get wrapped around, they can get that. Because nobody shot at us.
Thank you.
Where y'all at? That's why I said, where are you? You talk all that shit. Now we came, okay, y'all don't want to come to the hood. Y'all don't want to come to the loop. Y'all don't want to come. So we're cool with that. We'll come to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to kick my ass so bad. I had that ass delivered to you. I'm here. On delivery. And what did you motherfuckers do? You got scared. So the NFAC, this movement, it was about taking it to the next level so that we don't have to sit around and say, man, I'm sick of this shit. Because anybody in here who's ever whipped anybody's ass that you've been wanting to whip their ass, you know that person at your job or that person that around the way keep talking, when you finally get a chance to whip their ass, You don't be sick of nothing no more. They be like, you still mad at it? No, I went through that. I'm good now. Good. So nah, bro, it's a lot of people don't realize. Yeah, what you saw in Lafayette was the sixth time that we had done it, but the first time we did it, there was a risk of some shit happening, and the people didn't know that. And then once the police started saying who we was, once the police started saying you don't really want to fuck with them, once the police said they're not like everybody else, once the police said it and started telling other police, we got the red carpet rolled out to us. We don't work with them. Who heard the testimony from this morning with the police that was on the call talking about me? They were the same police that I worked with to set up the formations here. Are the ones testifying against me, but I work with the police. That's who you were listening to. The police that set up the formations. That was all kumbaya with us and trying to, y'all was out there, Louisville. The police was the nicest motherfuckers, wasn't they?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
But them the ones testifying against me. You see what I'm saying? So, brother, when you talk about somebody coming on the scene, how many of y'all have witnessed something in your life that you got sick of, but ain't have shit to do with you? I hate to do this, ladies, parents. You ever been in the store and the kid acting out and they get on your nerves and you start mumbling shit like, I'll smack the shit out of little Johnny. And the parents hear you. I was like, he's just a handful. Look, lady, for $5, I whoop his ass right here. You won't have no more problems. None, I guarantee it. He'll love you for life. That's how I got about the movement. I got tired of listening to debates. I got tired of people trying to, listen, I got tired of hearing people trying to carve up our history. All of it is our history. Oh, you're an Egyptian now. That's our history. Oh, I'm a Hebrew. That's our history. I'm an African. That's our history. Everything is our history. Stop trying to separate what makes you feel comfortable because of what somebody taught you when you was in diapers.
Say it, King.
This ain't your mama's church.
Well,
so when that happened, I got sick of it. And I'm sorry, I grew up in a household where my mama was old school. She would walk in and make this announcement.
everybody say.
I done had enough of this. I'm gonna beat everybody's ass in here. And you ain't have nothing to do with it. You over in the corner like me? I just got in this fucking Wi-Fi. You live here. You getting your ass told too. That was her policy. She didn't try to sort nothing out. She just beat everybody's ass. Did nothing work. I'm the baby. You got your ass beat. I'm the only girl. You got your ass beat. I'm the oldest. You got your ass beat twice. I was the middle child, so I didn't know what I was gonna get. I ain't gonna get you for you. You got other motherfuckers to get you. Okay? I'm the middle child. Matter of fact, I'm the illegitimate child. Okay? I broke up shit. Can I say this on the show, please?
I ain't start my show yet.
Oh, good. So, ladies, I gotta say this, and I'm glad you're here. I will talk about my personal life, but I gotta say this because somebody got a problem. I have been married 3 times. First marriage, 14 years. Second marriage, 10 years. Last marriage, 7 years. Notice they get shorter and shorter because I get sick of the bullshit quicker and quicker.
Right.
I divorced all 3 of my wives. No one has ever left me. I've left them. And I do just what my mama said. You put things back the way you found them.
All right.
So if I came down to the hood and I upgraded you, paid for you to get your master's degree, helped you start your own business, wrote the business plan, the marketing plan, and everything else, and now you're successful, helped you become a minister in the church, raised your kids, paid for their college, When I get done with you, I'm gonna put you back the way I found you.
Straight talking.
So I've been married 3 times. For all y'all he ain't from Cincinnati. If a man loves you, sisters, he'll move to be with you.
Teach, Doc.
He ain't just gonna keep coming to town.
Well,
Eventually, he'll be like, well, we don't need to coming back because we need this on the regular. And we'll go ahead and move on up here. And put down some roots. That's what you do. You don't make a woman move to you. The Bible says that a man will leave his family and find him.
yeah.
Sisters, they don't say for you to go nowhere. You're the apple on the tree.
Teach, Doc.
If the man want the apple, he got to climb the tree.
Yeah.
And some of y'all way up there. Dangerous to get to y'all. So we just go for that low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Y'all did not. That went over so many people's heads. That went right over their heads. Grown folks in the house. But let me finish it. I've been married 3 times. I've been divorced 6 years. I'm single. I know a lot of y'all are having love affairs with me in your mind.
Yes, we all do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes that's all you have.
That's all we got.
If no one in your world appreciates you, if no one in your world tries to help build up your esteem, if no one in your world acknowledges the small things you do instead of trying to milk bigger things out of you, and someone who comes through the screen tells you that they love you, it can make your whole world turn around.
Yeah. Come on, Doc.
Yes.
Because family won't tell you,
Yes.
spouse won't tell you,
Yes.
shit, your church members won't even tell you. Let somebody come along and say, I love you, and mean it with no strings attached.
Yes, Ken.
And I did that to the world.
Yes, you did.
So apparently that didn't go too well because when they cut me off, y'all went through withdrawal symptoms, and now people doing all kind of crazy shit. There's a lady I heard talking about, she knows me, claimed that she gave me my dog. My dog costs $3,000. It's an AKG pedigree, paper Doberman pinscher that I bought from a farm that I took with me when I left my wife. Because it was a gift to her. When I say I put you back the way I found you, I put you back the way I found you. And my dog was like, y'all niggas breaking up? Mm-hmm. You bought me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm rocking with you. I didn't think it was true. No one gave me my dog. I don't know this woman. I've never met her in my life. Mental illness is real, y'all. And the only reason you should pay attention to people like that is because they can turn into stalkers who will kill you. I don't like to admit I'm famous, but for some strange reason, I've become famous. And I've got a lot of psychotic people talking like they know me. They never met me. And people, like you say, they sitting there watching that shit online. That motherfucker. Oh, that's CJ. Oh. I don't know how people are treating me. People walking up on me. No, I thought you was a nice guy. I'm like, hold on a minute. She's bringing my standards down. She's not my type. Right. That's the first thing they're like, damn, Jay don't give a damn. Yes, Jay do. Any sister in here knows if I take you home to see my mother, she's old school. She would tell you straight up when you walk through the door. Yes. You got to get her out my house. Hold on, Mom, I didn't even introduce her. No, she has a spirit fire. Yes. And my mom's never wrong. And then the other pieces, I don't know where you found. What are you talking about? Everybody light skin, long hair, skinny. What's this? Okay, I'll change them. I'll bring somebody dark and fat. What happened there? You understand what I'm getting at? Yes. Y'all got to hear what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know these people. I don't know them. So look at them now through that lens. That's like the boys that came forward talking about Michael Jackson. Yeah. After he was dead. And we were like, I don't believe these ones. They never met him. They tell me what somebody else told them, somebody told them. Exactly. Somebody tried to tell me about one of your shows. I fucked it all up. They know I saw it. Yeah, that much made TV ad. Now he had fundraising for you. Oh, did he? Yeah, man. He called Rosemary Parker up and told her that he'll take it from here. Oh, you did? Yeah, man. You can't watch me TV. I did watch it. Why are you lying to me? I told y'all this. When someone tells you something, always ask yourself, what's the reason and how does it profit me? If it doesn't profit you, then don't put that poison into your system. Bad energy. Go ahead with your first question. I just want y'all to know, I ain't with nobody. Nobody. So nobody can step up and say, that's my man. Nobody. A lot of y'all trying though. And I see you. Yes, I do. I hear you too. But I got 33 years of marriage under my belt, so I'm not single, I'm divorced. There's a difference. A divorced person knows all the games, all the bullshit. They know how to get in and they know how to get out. Real single people don't know that. Cook for you right, buy you some clothes, give you some goodness, whatever. Ain't nobody tell you nothing. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, Jay, this is my life. Okay.
Amen. Hey, what's going on? This Major TV. Let's talk. Right now with the one and only Supreme Commander, Jim J. We're about to have a candid conversation. We're going to touch upon some things that most people ask me about and concerned about. And I'm going to start with a very straightforward question. What you think about the present situation with blacks, current America, since you've been dealing with your legal challenges?
Let me make sure I understand your question correctly. You said, what do I think of blacks?
The current situation with blacks in America in reference to our issues and problems and what have you. You can with boots on the ground with solutions to problems and so forth, so on. I was just going to talk about state of union of black people, because there are a lot of people that they're hijacking what you was doing and going a whole nother way with it and not pulling up and not really addressing things. You know where I'm coming from. So, Supreme Commander, in fact, Jim J, address that.
So, it's two parts to that answer. The first part of the answer is I believe that after I inspired millions of people around the world to get up and do something, that they did. And there's nothing wrong with that. If anybody remembers last year about this time, I said, get out there and make them uncomfortable. And y'all did. The whole world did. Somebody called me and said, you know what you just did. Because I didn't understand that. Let me tell y'all how y'all works. When he uses you, you may not always understand what he has you doing.
All right.
You may not even understand how big it is. When I said go out and make the people uncomfortable, I was only talking to my Instagram crowd. That's who I was talking to. Little did I know that the whole world was listening. So when people started calling me, people talking about, you know what you did, right? And I'm going, nah, I wouldn't say, bro, you just blew the horn. What? You rang the bell. What? Bro, you just set it off. Now what you gonna do? I'm telling y'all something you don't know. Same time that happened, somebody else called me and said, this is a black man that said this to me. You want to know why I went so hard? But in fact, this is why. Because a black man called me that I knew in the entertainment field. Somebody y'all know well called me up. Said, yo, man, saw the Stone Mountain thing. That was nice. I'm like, I appreciate you, brother. He was calling about some music. This is what he said. But I heard that you trying to get them to shut HMS down over in Africa. Y'all remember when I did that? Had them tear the stores up and run them out of. They're not in South Africa anymore. I ran them out of there with the help of the Africans and tore their stores up. Y'all don't realize how long I've been at this. So when I did that, he said this to me. You can't keep doing stuff like that. I'm like, why not? He says, because you're not a world leader. Okay, I'll be back. He called me back in September after we did October. This right after Lafayette. Called me back. And he said, I was wrong. Black man. But it was a black man that told me I couldn't do it. That made me go do it. And then that same black man had to come back and say, I had no idea that what I was witnessing was not you, but him moving us. And I had to readjust. So I believe that there are people who are inspired, and that's the state we're in right now. Y'all see people trying to do their own thing. You see people, everybody standing up everywhere. I saw a picture the other day from Africa down in Angola. Little kids in Angola. They ain't had no shoes on. They ain't had no shirt on. They had their little pants on, had their little sandals, and an AK-47. And underneath the caption said, we strapped up. Shorty. Where does that come from? Facts over feelings. That's what the kids were saying. So the good thing is, where do I think we black people are today as far as that's, I think that, yeah, they got the kick in the booty that they needed to get going. I think that they had their hands held in the beginning. So like, you know, like training wheels. And when they took me off the scene, they took the training wheels off. They took the training wheels off, black people. So what happened is now you're trying to ride the bike that you just got. You've only had the bike for a year, 7 months to be honest. And they're trying to ride the bike. But whoever rode on a bike where they got more than one person? Y'all been on one of them bikes and they get like 2, 3 people on the bike? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And everybody ain't working together? Right. Now you mad at the person behind you because he ain't pedaling hard enough? So I believe that, yes, they're trying to move forward. I think people have awakened in all areas now. I believe that black people are now more vocal than ever. We find out about stuff now instantly when it happens, not 2, 3 days later. The other side of it is this, to answer your question. And this is going to be painful, but it is. There's a lot of people who came out of the civil rights movement who felt like they could keep going what had already been started by everyone before them. But what they found out was the US government and Western society outsmarted them. They played a different type of warfare on them. They commenced psychological warfare on the black race right around 71, 72. I remember everything changed. Richard Nixon was not our friend. He put programs into place that are only seeing fruit today. That was by design. And only somebody that knew those games, only somebody that lived in the 60s saw it, lived through the 70s, saw it, lived through the 80s, saw it, lived through the 90s, saw it, lived through the early 2000s, saw it, and is now still here today. They thought they killed everybody like that. They said I slipped through the cracks. That's what they said about me. Oh, we missed one. Because I'm one of them. How did they not get me? Because I did what I told every one of y'all to do. Stop sitting around trying to find ways to fight against them with no solution, no resources, and no plan of attack. Learn everything about them. Infiltrate everything they do. If it got something to do with our liberation, learn about it and become an expert. Whatever job you got right now, that's what you bring to the table. You don't got to learn nothing. You already learn it because you do it for them every day. Nurses, doctors, architects, even police officers. All of these things, teachers. You're already doing it. But here's what happened. They played a psychological game on you. And the psychological game made you think that there's no need for you to be angry anymore. We got you. Just tell us what the problem is. We'll fix it. We got you. And a lot of people who were angry in the 60s and the early 70s, they watched people who weren't angry anymore. They watched us get more preoccupied with the birth of hip hop. Hip hop came out, it hit the United States, 78, 79. We all of a sudden, we all on one accord. They did a psychological game that by the time they did the other part of the psychological game, which was 9/11. That was a psych job. By the time they got us to 9/11, most of y'all hadn't even realized that they weren't even scared of us no more. I began to wonder around 1995, damn, they don't even mention us no more. Like, they don't take us into account for nothing. We just like on autopilot. We was on autopilot. The black race was just cruising along. We had the Cosby Show and Living Single and all of this shit. They were making us think that this is how, they were showing us how our lives should be, but we didn't have the tools nor the resources nor the opportunity to become a Bill Cosby. And then what they do to him in the end. I don't know about y'all in this room, black people, but every time somebody tells you about yourself, you turn around and sacrifice that person so you can keep on being the fucked up person that you are. So don't get mad at me for telling you about what I see in the mirror, because it applies to me too. So that group right there, when I came on the scene, when InFact came on the scene, Facts Over Feelings came on the scene, Morning Mental came on the scene, Midday Muse came on, all that shit came on the scene. There was people sitting back talking about, I've been waiting on this for 60 years. Yep. This is what I've been waiting on. This is what I've been waiting on. So they came out to participate. But they act like they didn't learn any lessons from what happened to the last group of leaders. The first time that I came out, I'll never forget what y'all said. Protect him. That's all everybody was typing. Yo, you gotta protect him. They were saying that about Kwame last week. Protect him. Every time somebody get real, what's the first thing they say? Protect him. But a lot of people didn't come to protect. They came to project. They didn't come to protect me or anyone. They came to do what they already was doing. See, y'all don't realize, and I don't want to really get into these other groups without throwing dirt on. I don't throw dirt on people. You've never heard me talk about nobody. I don't do that. But I will tell you this. One of those people came to me and said, man, we've been trying to get this shit off the ground for almost 12 years. We can't get but a handful of people. How you get all these people? Show me how you do that. It is written in the scriptures that if your ways are pleasing to the Most High, He will grant you your heart's desire, because He searches the hearts, and the hearts will tell you the motive, and that will determine your answer. When you pray, or whatever you want to call it, you're gonna get an answer. You're gonna get one of three answers, and it's based on what's in your heart, what your motives are. You're either gonna get, hey, you've been doing everything you're supposed to. You've been worshiping properly, and you really being good for what you're doing. There you go. That's the first answer. The second answer is, your motives is good. Yeah, but you got a little something with you. So I'm gonna give you a phone, but I'm not gonna give you an iPhone. Get it? You get this cricket job. But you got a phone. The last answer is, your heart is foul, your motives is foul, you foul, and you're not one of my children. The answer is no. No is the answer too. So I watch all these people come crawling out the woodworks. I watch all of these people come and saying, yeah, I've been doing it for this long and doing it for that long, but now we down. All these people came out to continue what they were already doing. If what you were already doing didn't work, what makes you think you can take what I'm doing and append what you're doing to it, and you're gonna come up with a different result? What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result.
Well, my question on your answer, but how you feel pissing off so many people?
Excuse me?
How you feel pissing off so many people?
You say feel?
Yeah.
Feel? Feel? A feeling? What's the name of this coalition? Which means, no. What's the name of this coalition? Which means I don't give a what? I don't give a fuck about y'all feelings. Feelings come from your flesh. Nothing good comes from your flesh. Flesh is based in I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah.
Flesh is based in your heart. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Y'all don't seem to understand. I try to teach that to y'all. Stop letting your feelings rule you.
Teach, man.
You niggas is out here emotional. Emotional. But quick to scream facts over feelings. Don't tune into my damn show with your feelings. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah. Don't ask you a question,
Bro,
bro.
that's you can't handle it. I heard the commentary you said when you talking about, brother, man, I know how I watched it. I heard you say it, bro. I'm messing with you because I watch it. You think I don't watch it. I'm just sitting there with my little big passion and talking like fuck it, dog. I know you want to show. I'm cool. I was just asking a question. When I say you, I'm talking to everybody. I never speak to individuals. You ain't never seen me speak to an individual. I speak to my people. Collectively. You is y'all as an entity.
But I asked that question just because of what you're saying, right?
Let me tell you something. If people get pissed off, it's their problem.
That's all I want you to say.
No. It's not what you want me to say. You asked to talk to me. That means that whatever comes out my mouth is what you get. Exactly. Impact, intent. Intent versus impact. That's a concept people don't understand today. That means that no matter what someone says out their mouth, they cannot control the impact that it's gonna have on another individual. So don't try to adjust your words. Don't try, like when you were talking on your show, I had somebody watching your show with me and they got mad at you because you wouldn't get to the point. And I told them, shut up, that's that man's delivery. He get there the way he get there.
Right.
Maybe where he's going, you're not going. Major TV.
Well, let me say this though. Let me get something.
And don't use me as a drop, as a cut like you do for that dude from my UK. Every time he come on, yo, we about to go and hook up with the UK. We Major TV.
The reason why I asked that because I found myself, I jumped in the middle of buku BS, right? Because I'm seeing people attack you. And you don't attack, but I go out there and bump a little bit. And I just feel like, since you don't hardly ever address it, I be trying to get you to talk about it, and not in detail and what have it, just knowing how you know.
You still ain't, you jumped right over. No. You jumped over. I'm not gonna talk about it.
Right.
Number one, because it doesn't affect me.
Right.
I'm a grown ass man, bro. I'm growner than most men. Matter of fact, I'm an alpha. I eat other alphas. I'm not a Bailey, Charlie, Young, Foxtrot, Gold, Hotel, Indian, Juliet, none of them. I'm an alpha. That's why other alphas don't like me.
I'm gonna use that.
I was built like this for a reason.
I'm gonna use that one.
It wasn't for you or me to have, go back and forth. I'm built this way. Remember the movie I, Robot? Remember Sonny? He was built for one reason. What was it? To kill the brain that was running shit. He had a special arm that her lasers, it burned his arm. He's like, yeah, that hurt, but I'm still a kid. I'm built for them, not for y'all. Anyone who comes into my presence, if you're not an alpha, the door, the exits are clearly marked. Remember the movie? I can't hate these movies. Remember the movie Live, Die, Repeat? You never saw it? Anybody see Live, Die, Repeat? Yeah. They changed the name like 3 times because it was so controversial. But it's the one where Tom Cruise keeps dying. And the day starts over, and he go back and fight the war like a video game. And every time he do it, he gets better and better.
Yes, it's another.
Yeah. They first it was called Day After Tomorrow. Then they called it Live, Die, Repeat. And they changed the name so much that most people don't even remember. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing with me. He had to get to a certain level where he could take on anything they threw at him. That was the only way he could liberate his people. That's the only way he could end the war. You get me?
Right. Okay. How you feel about black men in America?
You keep saying feel to me.
All right, what you think? What you think
about
black men in America?
That's a generic question. There's over 50-some million people in this of black people, and then half of that's 25 million black men. What?
I'm asking you that question because I'm looking at, since you have been off the scene, the reaction to certain things.
What did I say earlier before you started interview? What did I say everyone is going through? Withdrawal symptoms. I'm going to be deep with you right here. There's people in this room who actually know what I'm talking about. When facts over feelings stopped, when the morning mental stopped, people were emailing me and writing me saying this became the backbone and the structure of my life.
Yes.
I would wake up in the morning and you kept me from going crazy. I would go out and handle my day, and then I would come home, deal with whatever, and then I would tune into Facts Over Feelings, which gave my mind something to focus on, think about, and then I would go, and then I could interact with my spouse or my friends or whoever. You became a framework for us. And when they took that away, first a few people tried to step in and be the framework. They did. They tried to keep it going. Y'all got to remember, all of this happened under the quarantine.
Yes.
We were under quarantine.
Yes.
This was a very weird time in America. We all was locked down. We all was stuck in the house. All we had was these on your computer, your tablet. That was it. That was your outside connect to the world, and a lot of people, this was it for them. So when that went away, and just to talk about black men real quick, since I happened to be one last time I checked.
Okay.
I've always been aware that black men would have the biggest problem with me teaching from the Cobra, with me teaching from the book of Yeshua, all of them. I knew they was going to have a problem because of the way they broke down what it takes to be a man. And with the attacks that have happened on the black family, with the destruction of the nuclear family, with most of our good brothers still behind bars, and all of this stuff that's putting black women on the forefront, trying to defend, trying to protect, trying to eat, trying to feed, and trying to nurture our young by themselves, has created a situation where the black man has been reduced to entertainment.
Come on, man. That part.
Any black man that can prove me wrong, I got a whole industry I can point to. I got NBA, NFL, NHL players who call me and saying, bro, I'm with you. I just can't do nothing in my construct. But we with you, dog. We with you. You understand what I'm saying? So the state of black men today, and then to have somebody like me come in, yeah, we've been victimized. We've been traumatized. Yes, we have. Yes. But sometimes tough love is the only way to get love. Yes. Yes. I want somebody to give me some tough love. Let me know what it's going to take to make me a better person. Not for me, but for the children. For these sisters. That's why I didn't go at black men. It was the sisters that asked me, can you go and teach part on, and they will break down all the qualities of black men. And sisters, y'all remember what I did, and you know, I don't know if you saw this, but I did that. I went through the book of the ancient books, and I showed you that in the ancient African culture, you just couldn't call yourself a man. You couldn't. There was a process that you had to go through. There were tests you had to take. There were certain things you had to have before you could wear the mantle of man. The village wouldn't give you that title. When sisters heard that, y'all clean house. They did. I had people call me, I just divorced my husband. I just left him. I ain't putting up with this no more. But to keep it fair, I turned it around. And y'all remember when I did the tenets of a good woman. I did it for the brothers. I taught them, the ancient text taught us that if you're a hoe or a wife, that's a path. You chose that path. Once you choose that path, you stay on it. You can't jump from one to another. The ancient scriptures say you can't change a hoe into a housewife. But the scriptures also say that there's nothing wrong with either one. You just can't switch up. That's what it said. And when brothers heard that, they went, so. Listening to that Grandmaster J guy, and, you know, I don't think we need to get married. We can't get that wife because you've been going with me this long. And that's it. That's what I taught. So when I started breaking down what should have been broken down to us, if these things have been taught to me when I was young, or to y'all when y'all was young, if there was a true black school, not the ones that people, you know, if we had our own black schools that taught these things, if I knew what I knew now, y'all ever sit around and say, man, if I knew this shit when I was 16, I would have hooked up with that crazy joke. I believe that black men today have hope, but I also see that black men today are now reflecting all of the wounds from being traumatized, not just by society, but by the destruction of the black family. You see, you can be the most educated black man. You can be the richest black man. You can be the most well-traveled black man. You can be the most philosophical, artistic black man. But what you can never be, based on the ancient scriptures and our ancestors, is you can never be a full man unless you were raised by or with real men. To be one, you had to see one. And because they've been traumatized, I told y'all Nixon did this crack. A lot of y'all wasn't here. I was here when that shit started. I remember when it started. Not when it was at its heyday, but when it first started. It wasn't what it was doing that amazed me. It's who it was doing it to. People that I knew never touched drugs, fiend overnight. Sisters that I knew were the best thing. Like you say, I'm gonna marry her one day. Strawberry all day. If you don't know what a strawberry is, do your research. I watched guys that, like you say, that I think I wish I could talk like I wanted to, but I'm not gonna get crass. But guys that put it like this, like I said, I'm an alpha. These was Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Lima, Mike, November, Oscar. They weren't military people. They was way down the food chain. Overnight, they was millionaires. With all these cars and all of these women. And I'm like, wait a minute. This dude is only in the 12th grade. That's when crack first showed up. The hole that it blew in our cultural fabric destroyed us, destroyed the black family, destroyed the black woman, and destroyed the black man. And most of you all are living in the aftermath of this war zone. Nobody calling me or you or anybody else a crack baby. But what you are is a survivor, and you're living with what we call cultural amnesia. Because for a while, that's all they was trying to fix was the damage that crack did to our communities. But what they never addressed was, well, where all the brothers you locked up? You took all the men out of the communities now. You took all of the men out. Well, the women can raise the kids. That shit don't happen in your community. But why is it happening in ours? It doesn't. You're victimizing us because you don't want us here, really. You're victimizing us because you really want to commit genocide against us. And you're smart enough to figure out if you want to destroy the black race, you have to destroy the black man. Sisters, this is no bus on you. You carry the Eve gene. If you don't know what the Eve gene is, it's what makes you so unique from every other female on the planet. Only a black woman has this gene, which means you can produce any type of child based on the semen that's placed inside of you. But only a black man and a black woman can create a black child. I know that hurt, but it's the truth. I didn't make it up. That's why they want you to mix your genes with everyone else. We're dominant gene creatures. We could turn this whole planet back to black real quick if they stop killing us. Geno-recessive people are dying. They're not producing anymore. So they want to absorb the systems. But to kill the black race, kill the black man. The state of black men today, they're not They're not where white people want them because I kind of woke us up. But what they do realize is that the damage they did to us, it is real. There is trauma amongst brothers. A lot of brothers who were raised by women, when something goes wrong, they respond like women. So that's no bust because that's how you're built, but it's not appropriate for us. All this yelling, jumping around, getting emotional, sitting on YouTube crying and shit. I don't know what to tell y'all. Bruh, we in bad shape. We're in bad shape. But it doesn't mean we have to stay there. All 2020, me and a bunch of other people tried to lift up. Get our heads up. I told you, get our racial esteem up. All for a whole year. Yeah, here we are, 6 months into 2021, and most of that work is going backwards. Why? Because they cut the head off. And everybody who was an arm, a good arm, a good leg, you know what I'm saying, is trying to be the head now. I didn't make this. I couldn't make one of these if I tried. I didn't make my soul. I wouldn't know where to begin. So since I didn't make me, I'm not going to try to imitate what I didn't create. I don't know who I was before 2017 because the person I am now, he didn't exist. That's why I get so angry when people try to talk to me about who I am now and compare it to who I used to be. That person died. He's gone. He'll talk to you. He'll respond to you. He'll argue with you. He'll get emotional with you. He'll do all the things that you just said earlier. But when y'all shake up your life, remove things out your way, test you, and you stand on your square, then he'll say to you, okay, servant, I got a mission for you. You ain't gonna like it, but I will. You're gonna be somebody different. But I don't know what to say. Don't worry about that. I'll give you the words to say. That's in the Bible. Who was he talking to? Moses. And what did Moses do? He got his people out. But then he got out in the middle of nowhere and was like, okay, God, what are we doing now? Come up here, let me talk to you. So he left the people. Went up there, he up there with, like you say, up there with the boss. What happened down there? They didn't just act a fool. They started doubting what they were taught. Then they started doubting who taught them. Then they started doubting all of the stuff that he showed them. Then they said, we can do that too. And then they got it going on. Meanwhile, up on the mountain, and this is number 3. You with me? Oh, yeah, I'm trying. Number 3 is. Meanwhile, back down there, then they started talking bad about him. Then they said, we're going to kill him when he comes back. And when he came back, and they saw what had happened to him, after he went through the fire, after he went through that ordeal, when he finally came back with everything he was supposed to deliver them, he saw how they was acting. He put that down. Because he said, I know y'all been through a lot. And I know you've been traumatized. And I know a lot of y'all are angry at me for bringing y'all out here. But you still don't even realize that I took you out of where you were and brought you here so we can determine where we go. And the only thing you did was got mad and want to go back to where we was. And if y'all can't figure that out, then you don't understand the answer to your question.
I know that's right. How you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered?
Yeah.
That's a good question, bro. You're the first person who ever asked me that. Ever. How do I want to be remembered? You know, when I was young, I just wanted to be remembered. I wanted to do something, and like we all do. We want to make a difference. If you had told me 5 years ago that we would be here, I wouldn't have believed you. I said, man, you high and crazy. Get out of my face. I don't know how I'm gonna leave here. I know I joke about it sometimes. Honestly, I believe they're going to kill me. But I'm not afraid of death. Y'all know I've taught about this. Death is nothing but a temporary transition where your soul waits until judgment by the Most High, which will happen. I know they're going to kill me because I'm not going to stop. I can't. I'm like a caged animal right now. All this energy that he gave me, yeah, they put me on timeout. Well, he put me on timeout. But he didn't take the energy away. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you ever get into something and you get inspired and you be on fire for it and you throw your heart into it and you doing it, and then something happens and it stops. You may not start it up again because you don't feel it no more. It's not there. Let me help your viewers out. I preached for 10 years. I told you this upstairs, but we talked. Y'all don't know how to do y'all research about it. That's why I'm the way I am. I don't rail against the Bible or rail against what I call the slave master's Bible just to be an idiot. It's because I'm a trained theologian. It's because I'm an ordained chaplain. It's because I did prison ministry. It's because I did these things in my official capacity and I was groomed to be the next one behind the pulpit. When I find myself sharing dressing rooms with T.D. Jakes, G.E. Patterson, rest in peace. I don't think I'm worthy to be in a room with these great proclamators of the gospel. Come on, man. But apparently they do because they got me sitting up there with them. But the more I sat with them, the more I begin to realize that they just men like me. Right. And I'm not going to go into detail about what we talked about, but the things I begin to hear and the things I begin to see as a preacher let me know I was just like Malcolm. I really believed. And then when I found out that it wasn't, that it was a scam, that it was a money-making venture, that it victimized us at the expense of them, I couldn't do that to my people. And I also could not continue to tell a lie from the pulpit. So I left and turned against it to teach the truth about it.
That was deep. And what I'm about to ask you is going to be deep. Knowing you're doing the unthinkable. Knowing you mentioned Malcolm, the same thing happened with Malcolm when he stepped out in this field, on this line, and spoke out, right? And realized everybody had the same holy head. Realized it was way bigger than him, the nation, and what have you. And it was time to put boots on the ground. We've seen a lot of this, that, and other impossible feel. And this brother, knowing he was about to die, and we know what happened to him. Do you think it's worth it? I'm just asking you a question. Do you think it's really worth it?
No. First of all, let me tell you something. I'm not stupid. I'm not suicidal. I'm not unstable. I'm not narcissistic. I'm not egotistical. I'm none of those things. I'm probably one of the most grounded people you will ever meet in your life. I just won't put up with your shit. Period. And I don't want you to put up with mine. I want us to keep it a buck, as they say, in everything we do, good or bad, right? I'm one of those people that used to say, man, you a damn fool. You step up into that spot, like they would kill everybody that stood up there. I used to be one of them people. Like, you gonna do what? You sign this before you go up there. Can I have your toys? Okay. So, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Aside from the group, you gonna get a lot.